Buenas, ¿qué tal? Ok, yo definitivamente no doy para youtuber. No me da. No sé hablar. Hoy tipo quería hacer, o sea, quiero hacer, voy a hacer algo diferente. Yo cuando era chiquito, esto surgió a raíz de ver un estado de WhatsApp, literalmente. Yo vi el estado de WhatsApp de un amigo, tipo, voy a poner acá. Es básicamente un video de un caballo golpeando un vidrio. Y yo dije, Spirit. Y le respondí a mi amigo, le dije, ¿es Spirit? Y me dijo, sí. Y yo me puse a buscar una foto de Spirit y le envié. Y en ese momento mi cabeza hizo. Literalmente dije, yo cuando era chiquito me iba a alquilar una película en el videorama, tipo, en esos lugares donde se alquilan películas por 10.000. O sea, antes había, no sé si ahora sigue habiendo, pero yo me iba a alquilar en la película Spirit y siempre veía y en esa película había tipo una sección, viste que está el menú donde dice ver la película, esto, y había una sección que decía básicamente para ver el tutorial de cómo dibujar a Spirit. Y yo en mi cabeza de dibujante de no sé cuántos años tenía, dije, voy a dibujar la Spirit. Y era un tutorial del animador que se llamaba James Baxter. Yo veía este tutorial, voy a poner acá, y mientras que vemos, o sea, mientras que dibujo también vamos a ver el video. Lo que sigue, yo veía este video de How to Draw Spirit by James Baxter. Y o sea, yo en ese momento conecté y dije, necesito encontrar este video y volver a dibujar. Porque yo antes dibujaba y no seguía los pasos. Tipo, yo veía nomás cómo iba avanzando y iba avanzando directamente sin hacer el boceto principal. Entonces dije, voy a seguir paso a paso y me tiene que salir el spirit. Me tiene que salir el dibujo. Porque antes no me salía y me daba mucha bronca que no me salga el dibujo. Entonces yo, Zach de 17 años, casi 18, voy a hacer... O sea, voy a cumplir mi sueño chiquito, tipo, de que me salga el spirit. Y vamos a seguir el tutorial de James Baxter. Así que, dentro vídeo.
Hello, I'm James Baxter. I'm the supervising animator for Spirit, and today we are going to draw Spirit. To make it a little easier, we've broken it down into 4 easy-to-follow steps. Step 1, from the inside out. Step 2, flesh it out. Step 3, details. And Step 4, just add color. If you are anything like I was before I started this film, you'll know horses are pretty tough to draw. But the important thing is, have fun and get your pencils ready. You'll need plain white drawing paper, a soft lead pencil, sharpened, an eraser, and some other colored pencils. Whatever color you want them to be, really. Now the secret to drawing horses is draw them from the inside out. That is, know what their skeleton is and put that in first, and then you can draw the horse over the top. With horses, your backbone is pretty straight along his back. Now a good tip when you're sketching this stuff in is don't press too hard, because you might have to rub it out later. Now remember that horses' bodies and legs are pretty square.
Para. Vamos a hablar de algo. Como se habrán dado cuenta, seguir el paso a paso, tipo, me costó bastante. Aparte de que me costó, tipo, en el sentido de no me sale seguir el paso a paso, no sé usar bocetos. Tipo, me cuesta seguir el ritmo de la persona que me enseña a dibujarlo paso a paso, desde el boceto, desde cero. Lo que sí logré hacer básicamente es entender la estructura de lo que me está enseñando. Por ejemplo, para hacer las patas hay como una parte en específica que hay que hacer ciertas líneas, como parezca un rombo antes de empezar la pezuña del caballo, y eso lo entendí bastante bien. Pero aplicarlo al boceto, o sea, exactamente al boceto, como el señor lo pide, me cuesta bastante. Mi conclusión básicamente es, tipo, haz lo que hagas, salga lo que salga, vos estás aprendiendo y estás haciendo, tipo, tu mayor esfuerzo. No importa la forma en que lo aprendas. Con tal de que aprendas, practiques y entiendas lo que estás haciendo. Perfecto. Y eso. Les dejo con el dibujo. No se me ocurre nada más para decir. Y eso. Bonito día, chavales.
And that's his thigh down to his knee right there. And then this is his lower leg. And then his foot, again, unlike you and I, instead of being flat on the ground, is actually up, like he's got platform shoes on, or rather stiletto heels. So he's standing on his toes like that, and he's got his feet at the bottom there. There's one leg, and we'll put the other leg a bit further back like that. His head is sort of a circle up there and a sort of a cone shape, and I usually put another circle at the bottom like there. So he's looking at you. That'll be more fun. You have to make sure that his neck connects up to his head like that. Now we've got a basic plan for our horse. Now we're done with his skeleton, we can put in his surface, roughing out his muscles and all the things on top of the skeleton. Let's start with his back. Now his backbone goes straight through his body, and that's actually a really good line to use because it tells you where the tail comes out. There's a big bump there, it's like a couple of mountains. Like that, it's a shape like that. Then his neck starts at the top of his withers and attaches to the back of his head, like that, in a nice curve. We have to describe the front of his shoulder, the line that comes down here, and in there, like that. See his pelvis right here? There's like a little change of direction around the end of his pelvis, like that. And then when you're drawing his belly, it's good to try and point his belly towards that little change of direction. That's where that goes to. And then we have to start drawing the legs, the hard part. We've got our joints worked out, so we know where everything goes. And we have to put the muscles on the top. He's got nice big forearms and an elbow right there. And then sometimes I put a faint little line right here. So this forms sort of a triangle, really. And the thin parts are where the bones are, and the thick parts are where the joints are. So it goes thin down to his fetlocks. You, that would be the junction between your finger and your palm, right there, horse's fetlock. And then his hooves, which are sort of cone-shaped, really. There's one. Now put the other leg in. Now his leg is further forward than this one, so I'm going to draw it so you can see his other shoulder in there, and then his muscles in between. So again, thick up the top. This joint is actually pretty square, it's like a little box. And then the thin part, and then the joint at the bottom, and then we'll pick this hoof off the ground. Yeah, looking more like a horse? Good. Okay, so the face, we got our two big volumes, got the back of his head and his nose at the bottom, and now we have to sort of square it off, make it almost like a brick. So you can see the top of his nose, and that's the top of his eyes, where his eyebrows, his eyes sit underneath there, like that. And then we put in his cheek down the bottom, like there, and then his muzzle at the end. Give him a little smiley face. Put in his other cheek over this side, and his eyes, which sit sort of almost on the side of his head. Now his ears go right where his head meets his neck. I also think of them as tubes, which have been sort of shaped into almost like little flower petals. His hair comes down to a point right in the middle of his forehead, right there. It comes from his neck down to a point like that. So that's where it grows from, so that's where it's starting, so then we can just think we're going to put the hair out there like that. Now we've got the head, we can put in where that neck joins into his head. right around there, just underneath his throat, and the other part of the neck comes in and joins.
Sufren mucho y los sacrificios que ellas entregan a su amo son altos. Sí. Estas mujeres, durante las noches, hacen un ritual al lado de la fogata. Se desprenden de sus brazos y de sus piernas, colocándolas al lado del fuego para mantener las extremidades calientes. Su dorso a veces es complementado con alas de lechuza o a veces con extremidades de cerdo. Algunas prefieren volar como bolas de fuego, así que no toman la forma de un animal. Cuando acaban sus trabajos, regresan, vuelven a colocar sus brazos y piernas y vuelven a ser humanos. Él estaba lleno de terror y le preguntó: ¿qué trabajos hacen las brujas, abuelita? Ella respondió: pues mira, a veces se encargan de los problemas de otras personas, que les pagan con dinero o con comida, y en otras ocasiones hacen el mal